Hello and welcome to Learn with Indrjeet. This is another video in the series of videos titled Building a To-Do Management System Application in the latest .NET 8 framework from Microsoft. In the previous video, we implemented Serilog to log errors in the SQL database in the Web API project. If you haven't watched that video, please go ahead and watch that too. In this video, we'll be adding a Razor Pages client application to our solution and we'll implement admin LTE template for the UI part. So this is going to be a very exciting video. Please watch it till end. Let's get started. So here we are in Visual Studio. Let's go ahead and add a Razor Pages web application to our solution. Right click, add, new project. Let's search for Razor Pages. So it will be a ASP.NET Core web app Razor Pages application. Select that, click on next. Let's name it web app. And let's leave all the default settings to as they are. Click create. And our brand new web app project is added. Now the first thing that we want to do is we want this web application project to start along with the web API when we hit start or click F5. So right click, property of the solution. In the multiple startup projects, we already have the web API action set to start. We want to do the same thing for web app project also. So apply, OK. And we want to comment out the HTTP and HTTPS profiles for the time being so that our web app runs in IIS Express, right? So close this and let's see what we have out of the box. So F5 to run the application in debug mode. And here it is. So along with the web API Swagger, the web app is also started. Now let's try changing the welcome message in the index page. So let's try changing it to welcome to do MS. Save and refresh. But let's see, this text is not changing although we have changed it here. It is just because of Razor runtime compilation. So let's go ahead and implement Razor runtime compilation to our project. So manage NuGet packages and search for runtime compilation. Here it is. The latest table is 8.0.1. Click install, accept, and done. Okay. Now let's add a condition that this package should be used only if the configuration is debug. So let's double click on web app to go to the csproj file and put in our condition over here. So condition should be like this. So when the configuration is debug, only then this package should be added. Now let's add it to the pipeline in the program.cs file. MVC builder is equal to builder, and let's put in the condition. So if debug, then MVC builder dot add razor runtime compilation with the default constructor. Okay, save. Let's build and rebuild the application and hit F5. Now let's try changing this text. So going back to index, and let's remove the space between this and see the change. So here is the space. If we refresh, it recompiles the view and applies the changes. Fine. So the space from here is gone. So let's remove this div altogether and just put in a paragraph saying welcome. Okay, and now hit refresh. So the changes are now reflecting. Fine. So now let's move to the next step for cleaning up the files that we already have. So we have the CSS folder and the site.css is there. So we want to remove everything from here. In the JS file, we have a very useful link for building and minification. So I would highly recommend you to go to this link and read about bundling and minification. It is all about minifying the JS files. Let's change the name of this folder to plugins. So the access to this path is denied because this project is open. So let's go to this folder first, view in open folder in File Explorer, and going back to Visual Studio, and let's close the solution. Close Visual Studio also, and then change in the www root the name. Okay, now as the name is changed, reopen Visual Studio and the project and the solution. Okay, we change this name because we are going to implement admin LTE, and the name of plugins there is plugins, right? So the client libraries are there in the plugins folder. So here we are. Now because we changed this name to plugin, we have to change it everywhere it is referenced. So let's open the layout, and in fact let's search for this text in the current project wherever it is, and Control H to change it to plugins. Okay, so let's see, it is there in the layout, in the validation scripts, and then in Bootstrap bundle, but we don't want to change the name in Bootstrap bundle and the client libraries. So we'll go there one by one, page by page, and in the current document we'll change it to plugin / replace all, and in the validation scripts, Control H, right? So save, close that. Now the next thing is we want to implement admin LTE template. So for that you will need to go to adminlte.io. It is a bootstrap based dashboard template. It is an open source template. You just need to download it. It will take you to the latest releases. The latest one is 3.2.0, and clicking on that will take you to the GitHub repo where you can download the source code, right? So what I have done is, in order to save your time, I have downloaded the zip file and also extracted it. So let me show you how admin LTE template looks like. So let me, okay. So here is the branding, the nav bar, the side menu, and the main content. So we want to use a very simple version of this template for our to-do application. So let's start implementing this. And we'll be implementing the layout that is fixed. So fixed sidebar is the layout that we are going to use. So it is very simple layout, and the name is fixed sidebar.html. It is in the layout folder. So pages and layout, fixed sidebar.html. Okay, so let's copy this path and open this HTML file in Visual Studio. So file, open the file, and here goes the path. Okay, so it is fixed sidebar.html. Now this page requires Font Awesome plugin, and if we collapse the wrapper, the jQuery that is already there, Bootstrap is already there, overlay scroll bars we can ignore for the time being. Okay, fine. So we want to bring Font Awesome plugin from admin LTE. Let's do that. So back, and in the plugins folder, let's search for Font Awesome free, copy these, copy the files and put it into our plugins folder. So paste. So Font Awesome free is there. Now inside of our layout, one thing is we want to delete the custom CSS that is there for the layout page, and let's open it side by side. So first of all, we are using the bootstrap.css, no need for that, and the web app. Okay, so we want this Google fonts and the Font Awesome free. Then we want to include the CSS for admin LTE. So let's take that also from admin LTE template. In the dist folder, CSS, let's copy the CSS files to our CSS folder. Then let's copy the JS files to our JS folder. Fine. And now let's copy let's copy all, then we'll delete whatever is not required. So copy and paste. Overlay sidebars, not for the time being. Okay, and the plugins is there in the root, and there is no dist folder in the root. Okay, so this is fine. Okay, now the scripts. So we already have the jQuery and Bootstrap implemented. We only want the admin LTE just before the site.js. Okay, and because it is coming, the JS folder is in the root. Okay, now for the markup, let's copy this wrapper and put it inside of the body. So before that, body has some important classes to it. Paste those and let's save render body for later use, and let's delete everything that is there in the body, the header, the container and the footer. Okay, so delete, and let's copy the wrapper and paste it over here, and let's move the render body to somewhat above those scripts. Okay, save, and now because we have taken everything from the fixed sidebar, let's close that and press F5 to start the application. So here is the application with the layout that we were seeing here. Now let's change it step by step according to our requirement. So first of all, we want to use a dark layout, dark navbar. Let's go back to layout, and it is a long wrapper, so let's collapse that. So let's add some more classes to the body itself. So we are saying, hey layout, the nav bar should be fixed. Okay, and hey layout, the footer should be fixed, and we want to use dark mode. Also, the nav bar, instead of white and light, it should be dark. Okay, let's see how it changes. Okay, so we are now using black theme. Okay, fine. Let's go back. Now we are going to remove all the comments that are there and format the document. So first of all, the list items that are there in the nav bar, we don't want the home and contact links, and we also don't want these icons over here. So let's remove these. So this is the home and contact. Let's remove these two allies and removing the comments. So right navbar links are here. So there is a search. So let's remove this unordered list. We'll bring them back when we'll need. And removing the comments. So now the navbar should be clean. Okay, let's work on this section now. So it is an aside. This is the main sidebar. Then we have the brand logo, and for the logo we must have logo image. So let's open this folder and make another folder here for image, and then let's bring in the image that we have. So in the temp folder we have this logo. Let's copy that and put it into the image folder. Fine. Let's also change the favicon. So let's delete the default one and bring in our own favicon to this place. Okay, and now back to the code. So the link that will be there for this anchor tag is ASP page is equal to /index. Fine. And so there is a img folder having logo.png, and the alt will be logo, and let's change the name Todo ms. Okay, let's see how it changes. The favicon changes, the logo is there, and the branding. Okay, now let's remove this image, the search box, and all of the items except multi-level example from this sidebar. So it becomes a very simple sidebar for us with a very few menu items. So the sidebar is here, sidebar user, we don't want that. The search form, we don't want that also. So delete. Okay, now these are the list items that we were seeing on that UI, the dashboard and all. So let's collapse this. Second, third, we want to collapse up till multi-level, this one. Okay, so fine. So to collapse everything, we have control ML. So we were inside the body, and then inside of this aside we had a sidebar, then we have this nav ul, and here is the multi-level example. So except for that, we want to delete everything. Okay, 1 2 3, and yes, so these comments should also go. Now let's remove this item in the middle, and let's remove this li also. So we are left with only one list item, and let's change the name to Todo pages. Todo pages. Okay, save. Let's see how it looks like now. Okay, with only one list item, everything has gone. Okay, now we want to have multiple items over here. So let's say ASP page, the link will be /todos, and the text will be like all to-dos. Fine. So just like all to-dos, we want to have different links for to-dos that are due today, to-dos that are completed, to-dos that are important. So let's copy this list item for 1 2 3 to-dos due today, and let's change the text also. To-dos completed, and here also, and to-dos important. Okay, important, sorry, copy and paste it over here. Right, now let's have another one just like this for the main to-do menu items, and here we'll focus on to-do groups, to-do groups. So this will say okay, and one for to-do lists, So fine, this is for to-do list, and another one for the to-dos. Okay, like just like this one. So copy and paste that the end and change the text, and let's see how it looks like now. So it has all the menu items that we are going to implement in future. Now let's clean this main content. So going to the content wrapper, let's delete the comments. We are going to leave the footer as is, and going to the content wrapper, we have the content header as well as the content, okay, the main content. So inside of this content wrapper, let's take out everything from here and actually delete that, and let's put the render body tag over here for pages to render. Okay, so whatever child pages have in their content will be rendered over here. Fine, so let's go ahead and check that it should be pretty empty. Okay, so welcome is coming from the index page, right? Now this layout looks like nice, but one more thing we want to do is from the main page, the dashboard version 1, we have to-do list already made for us. We want to show it on the index page, right? So let's take the HTML for that from we'll take the HTML from the admin LTE index page, that is here. So copy this and let's open this file, paste the path and the index. Let's search for to-do list. Here it is. So let's copy this card, close that and paste it in our index page like so. Save that and let's see how it looks like now. This is fine. So the to-do list is here. We don't want this paging. We want to remove these placeholders. So let's do that, and then our layout will be complete. So to-do list is okay. Pagination we don't want. The drag handle, don't want the drag handle in any of the list items, so I am removing those. We can always bring them back if required. As of now we don't want them. And the comment, okay, so it looks like clean now. Let's leave these comments so for later reference and refresh. Okay, so this way we have implemented the admin LTE template. In this video we learned how to add a Razor Pages application, how to implement Razor runtime compilation so that we can see the changes when we refresh the page, and then we learned how to implement admin LTE template for our UI. In the next video we'll be implementing a HTTP client service. I hope you like the content of this video. If that is so, please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Please tell me in comments What are you learning from these? I hope you are working on your systems, building the application along with me. If you have any doubts or queries, you can always ask in comments. Thank you for your time. Keep learning.